It took 7 years to build, takes 30 minutes to drive, and is 41 kilometers long, and cost a whopping 1 billion euros. This highway through the mountains of Montenegro was financed by Chinese loans and built by a Chinese company that flew in Chinese laborers to do the work.
The motorway is super, from Kolashin to Podgorica.
Kolashin is a popular summer destination, and in winter it attracts ski tourists. The highway was completed a year ago, and the town has since seen business boom. Sales at this ice cream stand have tripled.
We are connected with other towns. We have many tourists now. We come here in a shorter time, and I think it's good.
Drivers pay a €3.5 toll fee. At that rate, it'll take a long time to cover the highway's €1 billion price tag. But people here aren't worried.
We'll pay back the loan, God willing.
But Natasha Kovacevic is among those sounding the alarm. She works for an NGO that's critical of the project. She knows that the stretch of highway is a huge burden on the country's finances.
We have income from the highway, which is 9 million euros annually, and we have a loan rate, which is for the half of year, and it's about 40 million euros. So it's obvious that we can't cover the loan with what we have, and that we have to put this remaining money from the budget.
The highway leads through the Tara River Canyon. There, Natasha Kovacevic meets with a representative for local fishermen. The river used to be full of fish, like this one. Today, the river is dead. Since the highway was built, there's nothing to catch.
The fish were killed by all the chemicals. The Chinese workers would wash out their concrete mixers right in the river. That clogged the fish's gills, so they could no longer breathe. Nothing here was done the way it should have been.
Excavated earth from the bridge construction has been dumped all along the river, leaving barren piles of rubble full of steel parts. The water is clouded with debris.
Basically, this grey mood is coming from different excavations, but also coming from these dump sites, which have this flushing of sediments, and this is actually what they're destroying a riverbed, but also biodiversity.
At the highway operator's office in Podgorica, there's no one to handle inquiries, and there's no plan to renaturalize the river. Researcher Nina Vujanovic has looked into the government's financial planning. She says the loan from China could jeopardize Montenegro's bid to join the EU because accession requires that the national debt not exceed 60% of gross domestic product.
Currently, it's around 70% of the GDP, so definitely Montenegro has very little fiscal buffers or no buffers left for further reforms that can damage its fiscal economy.
There's not enough money to renew Montenegro's crumbling infrastructure. The finished 41-kilometer stretch of highway ends in this gravel road. Chinese lenders are willing to supply more money to extend the highway, but that would be a big risk. If the government defaults on a loan payment, state property could be seized.
Montenegro is giving up on sovereignty on some of their infrastructural projects. So if we are not bringing back the sources which are needed for paying back the loan, then we may stay without of some of the public infrastructure which is meaningful, like energy infrastructure, railways, or port.
With the first 41 kilometers of highway, Montenegro has made itself dependent on China. To prevent that dependence from growing, many say that the EU now needs to engage more strongly in the region.